So let's talk about four key roles to hire in a growing upper cervical practice. I'm going to talk about these as they relate to different practice growth stages when you would be thinking about hiring these different roles within an upper cervical chiropractic practice. So the first one is a CA, right? A chiropractic assistant. Now, a CA is someone who obviously is a chiropractic assistant. They're assisting the chiropractor. And typically, this is the first CA you hire. We recommend you hire them before you even open your practice. So if you're considering opening a practice, we recommend you hire the CA before your first day you're open. But if you're in practice growth stage 1 and you haven't hired a CA yet, we recommend you hire one because it's going to dramatically increase your margin, your ability to see more people and help more people in your community. Doctors who stay solo, meaning solo without a CA, it makes it extremely difficult for them to grow out of practice growth stage 1 and almost impossible to grow out of practice growth stage 2. Probably it is impossible to grow out of practice growth stage 2 without a CA. And so the easier or the earlier you hire a CA, the better. So that's the first one. And a CA in that circumstance, practice growth stage 1 type of CA, is going to need to be a kind of someone who does everything, right? They're going to do everything within the practice. They're going to work with new patients. They're going to work with existing patients. They're going to answer phones. They're going to help you in the back. They're going to do lots of different things, and that's fine. They're going to be able to do that because, in practice growth stage 1, you're not seeing a lot of patients. You're able to really, have this person be able to do a lot of different things, and you be able to continue to grow the practice. Now, the next stage, when you're in practice growth stage 2, there may be a time where you take your original CA and you turn them into a new patient coordinator. Now, you also can do this later on in, say, practice growth stage 3 or even 4, is to hire someone specific who can be a new patient coordinator. But either way, if you take an existing CA and you turn them into a new patient coordinator, or you hire someone specifically for this role, a new patient coordinator is someone who is going to focus on the entire new patient experience, right? And this starts with following up with leads, right? So you have leads that are coming into your world, and the new patient coordinator is going to connect with those potential new patients and bring them into the practice, and then through that whole new patient experience. So they're really you want them to own from the initial contact with the lead all the way through the signing of the care plan and the scheduling out of that patient, right? So that whole process, that's what a new patient coordinator owns in their role. And their KRAs, their KPIs, everything is focused around that whole process. Like I said, you can take an existing CA, turn them into a new patient coordinator if you're building to a certain level. And if you're hiring, say, a second CA, maybe, like as I mentioned, maybe you're at 30, 35,000 per month, and you realize, hey, you know what, my original CA, it's too much for them at this point. We need a second CA. When you hire the second CA, what we recommend is you then take one of those two CAs and you turn them into a new patient coordinator. So that one of your CAs focused on new patients, the whole new patient experience from lead all the way through care plan conversion. And the other CA focuses on existing patients. They focus on building, relationships and retention and, increasing your PVA and those types of KRAs and KPIs that are so crucial for the practice as well, right? And some of this will come down to the personalities of your CA. Like if you have an original CA that you hired in practice growth stage 1, and now you're in practice growth stage 2, collecting over $20,000 per month. And this CA, you see that they're really good at the new patient experience. Then convert them into a new patient coordinator, hire somebody else to really focus on your existing patients. Or if you see, man, they're really good at connecting with existing patients. They're great at building relationships. They're great at really being that heart of the practice. Then have them focus on the existing patient relationships and hire somebody else to focus on the new patients, right? So those are some really key roles within a growing upper cervical practice. Now, the next one is, as you are in practice growth stage 2, you're in that solo practice collecting more than $20,000 per month, and you're at that point where you've checked all the boxes, you're ready to hire your first associate, go to a 2-doctor practice. That's when the associate doctor becomes so important, right? Bringing them in, bringing someone in that has shared values, that's teachable, that's aligned with your mission is crucial at that point. So you can go from practice growth stage 2 to 3 and have 2 doctors in the practice and greatly increase your capacity. And the last key role in a growing upper cervical practice is an office manager. Typically, an office manager is somebody that you wouldn't hire or you wouldn't promote someone up into that level until you're at least in practice growth stage 3, right? It definitely, if you're in practice growth stage 4, you would definitely want an office manager. But a lot of times at the tail end or the higher level of practice growth stage 3, an office manager makes sense. And really what an office manager does is they are going to run your systems, right? And they're going to free you up to lead and do the things that only you can do. And they're going to be more focused on, the team development and accountability of the team and connecting with the patients and really just running the day-to-day of the practice. And so these are 4 key roles in a growing upper cervical practice that, depending on where you are in your growth stages, you may be looking at these different roles to hire right now.